What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the game. Not even a game week 7. It's not game week 8. It's more of a welcome to a Premier League learnings video where we're going to be just looking at like what have we learned so far from 7 game weeks of information. We'll look at some of the players that maybe we should start looking at going forward as well. I don't think we'll look at teams too much this week because we'll keep that for the team selection stream. But more of like whatever we'll look at some data, look at like XG for defending, attacking, look at midfielders who are performing, and maybe see whether we should be looking at targeting some of those midfielders and defenders and attackers. So that's basically what we're going to try and do in this video. So shout out to Andy in the chat, shout out to Sam as well, and anyone else who's watching this in the background. Obviously, there are about 7 of you. Hit that like and subscribe if you are new, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button because that helps us in terms of the algorithm, and that would be beneficial as well. For the channel overall, so make sure to hit the like button for all the regulars and the subscribers. If you're new, subscribe. Tendai, how are you doing? I already bought in Paqueta for Madueke. Oh, let's talk about some of these transfers that we should be looking into because things are obviously changing. The fixture ticker is changing in terms of some of the teams that we have that have better fixtures right now. Fixture ticker, here we go. So we're going to be using Scout members area for this as well in terms of that. Now, obviously, West Ham, we're going to look from until game week 8 to when do we get the free transfers again? Let me have a look. Was it game week 15 or game week 16? We got free transfers, chips, leagues, wildcards. Let's see, Premier League transfers. No, where's AFCON? Aha, here we go. Following the game week 15 deadline and ahead of game week 16. Okay, so we're gonna because it's ahead of game week 16, we're gonna set the ticker up till game week 15 actually. And we're gonna just focus purely on these 8 game weeks for our planning basically. So we will sort it by difficulty. Is that sorted by difficulty? Kinda. So obviously Brighton, Arsenal, Liverpool, Wolves all above. West Ham are also above. If you were to look at West Ham for a 4 game week sample from game week 8 to 11, they're kind of above as well. Brighton over the long run, although I would kind of question Brighton's next 2 a bit more. So Brighton are more like a game week 10 onwards type team, I would say. Arsenal are good. Liverpool. Now, this is interesting because none of us have Liverpool attackers. Some have some Liverpool defenders. I mean, actually, people do have Liverpool attackers. Some have Liverpool defenders. Majority are kind of don't have either, and I'm not sure what to do with, whether you sell or you keep. For those of you who have Liverpool players, what are you doing? For those of you who don't have, are you looking at any Liverpool players? Let me know. Plowby, welcome. My ticker is numerical, and Arsenal to 16 is second. Ticker is numerical, and Arsenal to 16 is second to Chelsea. Oh, so even if I put until game week 16. Yeah, yes. Okay, fair enough. So Chelsea is third if I put until game week 16. Yeah, but we're going to be looking until game week 15. Just because we get that 5 extra free transfers in game week 16. So you kind of, the purpose of looking until game week 15 purely is because we need to use all the transfers come in the end of game week 15. Otherwise, you won't get an exact 5 come game week 16. So that's kind of why I'm mainly focusing on that. But we should probably also look at like game week 16 onwards as well for like longer term transfers, to be honest. But yeah. So Liverpool is the one that I'm kind of still uncertain on what to do. So that is something that we kind of have to see. Brighton fixtures are a little bit tricky and they're a bit up and down for me. I would agree as well. Yeah, I think the Newcastle United are slightly trickier. Then Leeds is not too bad. Crystal Palace is a bit more harder. Brentford not too bad. Forest I mean, if Forest have a new manager, we have to keep in mind there's an international break, I think, between game week 12 and 13. Forest could potentially have a new manager again by game week 13. You never know, because Forest, they have Chelsea, Bournemouth, Man United, and Leeds alongside. Forest have Chelsea, Bournemouth, Man United, Leeds, and Liverpool in the next 5 game weeks, and just 5 game weeks plus some European fixtures in the middle to keep his job. If he loses all those 5 games, which I mean could be possible, except for Leeds, maybe you think that they would win the Leeds. Then I don't know. You might have a new manager against Forest in 13. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. The other thing is when to use your chips. So first let's look at some teams to consider. So Arsenal obviously good, which is why people are trying to load up on Arsenal. Wolves, I don't know if I trust Wolves at the moment to go and get any Wolves players. So even though the fixtures look nice, I would probably still avoid, to be honest, is what I'm thinking. Crystal Palace are a team I like. Obviously, Crystal Palace against Arsenal is going to be a bit more harder, especially given that Crystal Palace have Europe midweek, and it seems like whenever they have Europe and then they play the game after, they get a bit tired at the end of the game, which is what happened in the Everton fixture as well. And that leads to mistakes and whatnot. So because they don't have a big squad as well, Crystal Palace. So the fixture against Arsenal is not going to be that easy. Fixture against Bournemouth should be okay. Bournemouth, however, are a tough team at the moment. They're playing really well. So it'll be a very tricky fixture. I don't mind Ismail Sarr for that one still. But if I was looking to buy Crystal Palace, I think it's probably game week 10 onwards for the rest of the options. Personally, for my team at least. Who else? Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, another team that are very interesting. Now, we do know that we do know that Visa is not going to be available at least until the next international break, which means Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, Brentford, Manchester City. Those games are where Walter will still be available to play. Obviously, we have Joe Pedro. We've got we also have Gyökeres, and both of them so far haven't really been firing per se. If they don't do too well, I won't be surprised if people start looking into getting Walter if he continues to do pretty decently. That's another thing to kind of consider as well. So yeah, at the bottom we have Aston Villa, Sunderland are there, but if you're bench boosting in game week 8, Sunderland are good. If you're bench boosting game week 9, you probably want Leeds over Sunderland options. Unless you're bench boosting in game week 10 against Everton, which is not too bad as well for Sunderland options. Although who do Leeds have? They have Brighton, which is also still not too bad. And Burnley have Arsenal, which is not great. Brentford, I don't really look at anyone. Leeds, I've only got Roden. Man United and Fulham. Man United, those of you who have Bruno Fernandes or Brian Mbeumo, what are you doing with United options? I'm at the moment thinking of selling Bruno to get in Saka. Joseph, welcome. How are you doing? And then there are Spurs options. And I wish I listened to Sam when he said Kudus is better than Xavi Simons, and I still wanted to punt on Xavi Simons. Now I'm the one who's crying, and Sam's loving life with points returns from Kudus. So I wish I end up getting Kudus, but now with Xavi Simons, I think he's got to go. Especially given Spurs' fixtures. Next couple of fixtures are Villa, which might actually not be too bad. Then Everton, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal. So I'm definitely setting Xavi Simons this week. So yeah, that is the fixture ticker and how it looks like. Sam is laughing. Yep, indeed, and I'm crying. So next couple of chips and chip plans. Game week 8 and 9 are going to be popular bench boost chips. Game week 8 is also a popular wildcard chip video, and I'll make a wildcard draft later as a video for people who are wildcarding. I think game week 13 will also be a wildcard window, to be honest, purely because of the international break. So anyone who has wildcard chips, game week 8, game week 13, those are some of your windows to look at for wildcard. If your team is still good regardless of those two windows, then you just walk out when team turns bad, I guess. Cool, welcome. I'm keeping Bruno ATM. Amarim mustn't have long left. You never know. I don't think they'll fire him after the Liverpool game. But if he does lose the game after that, which is Brighton as well, then obviously that will be alarm bells ringing, to be honest. I don't think the Liverpool game will seal his fate necessarily. Although the Liverpool game in past has sealed a lot of managers' fates in recent times. I don't know if that will necessarily just be like, oh, he lost Liverpool, fired. Then they should have just done it in the, in this international break itself. But yeah, Andy, welcome back. And John, welcome. How are you doing as well? So Game Week 8, 9 bench boost windows. I'm on Game Week 8 bench boost as things stand. I haven't activated it yet, but that's the plan. Triple captaincy. For me, I think it was Haaland against Leeds in Game Week 13 was one triple captaincy window. Now, is Game Week 13 a midweek fixture? That is something I need to have a look at. Game Week 13. No, Game Week 13 is a normal weekend fixture. But Game Week 14 is midweek. So Haaland might not necessarily get... So he has a Saturday game followed by a Wednesday game. Should be okay, but it's away to Fulham. So there's a possibility Haaland might not get 90 minutes against Leeds because they have a midweek fixture in Game Week 14 as well. And it's a away fixture to Fulham. So that's the only thing that have to consider. But I still think Haaland in 13 is probably a really good triple captaincy option. Otherwise, it's Haaland in 15 against Sunderland as a triple captaincy option. Although I feel like if I was to compare Leeds defense and Sunderland defense, I feel like Sunderland defense might be slightly more harder than the Leeds defense. Haaland against Forest or West Ham? Oh, that's a good shout. Haaland against Forest. When is that? When is that though? That doesn't seem to be anywhere soon. That's in Game Week 18. No, the only problem that puts me off that is it's the Christmas break, Andy, and you have games in way too quick succession, where you've got Forest in 18 and then Sunderland immediately in 19. Like, it's too quick, the turnaround. So I'm a bit careful with minutes and whatnot. Also, that's way too long ahead. I don't know about Haaland's form, how it will be. That's the other thing here to consider as well, I guess. I mean, 13 also is quite long because it's at the end of November, right? 13. So as long, I don't know, if he's in form still, might be a good option. That's the only thing. That's the time there's a double. Maybe it depends on Crystal Palace whether there's going to be a double game week or not. I think at the moment we still don't know, so I'm going to play under the assumption that we don't know just yet. But we'll see how Crystal Palace go against Liverpool in the cup final and then kind of decide. Are there no potential double game weeks coming? Everyone seems to be using chips early at the moment. I would probably play under the assumption there might not be. There's a chance apparently, like with Crystal Palace, if they go to the quarterfinals, if they go past the quarterfinals of the League Cup, there's this talk about them potentially clashing, like one of their games clashing with a game in the Conference League, and that could lead to a blank game week as well for Crystal Palace. However, first we need to see whether they get past Liverpool, which they probably might be able to do because they've already beaten Liverpool twice this season. They did first beat Liverpool in the cup for that to even become a possibility, I think. So we don't know at the moment, and even then there's a higher chance that the Premier League will push it down later in the new year, in 2026, where they push the double. So you might still end up with a blank game week, but a double could be in 2026 more likely. So we don't know at the moment. But free hit chip, maybe that you could potentially hold and wait the free hit chip. Annoying as he can be, Bruno's 2 misspends were probably due to delays in both. If it wasn't super save last week, yeah, I know that's the thing, right? You're looking at potentially what, at least 20 odd points that you missed out on. 20 to 24 points at least minimum that you potentially missed out on just from those 3 actions. I feel dirty speaking positively about that. Saka is the one if you can stay fit. Yeah. See, but then that's the thing, right? If you don't have Saka, would you still remove Bruno to bring in Saka? I don't have Saka, so that's why I'm thinking of removing Bruno. And if Amarim does lose his job, then I'll think about it again if I want to bring in Bruno after that. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, if Bruno is the ideal pawn, yeah, he's probably the cash cow fight. I have 3 Palace players that might be a different week but play off later. I mean, yeah, if you have your free hit chip still left, Andy, then maybe save it for that. So triple captaincy, probably game week 13 at the moment. Free hit chip, I have no idea when to play. Obviously, there was one. For those of you who have Palace, a lot of Palace, and have a lot of Arsenal, I guess game week 9 is not too bad. But like we just mentioned, where Palace are probably not that great just after Europe, keeping your Arsenal players might not be a bad idea. Palace players, maybe you could look at benching instead of playing the free hit chip potentially. The other week for you to potentially play a free hit chip could be either game week 11, Liverpool playing City. Or are there any other fixtures where City and Arsenal not really. City, it's game week 11. Do Liverpool clash? We don't really have Liverpool players at the moment, but they don't really have a tough fixture except for game week 11. So I don't know. I think free hit, you might as well just keep it based on your team and see how you go. If you have a week where we can target some of the promoted teams as well. So, for example, Leeds play City, Leeds play Liverpool in 15. Sunderland plays City in 15. And Burnley play Newcastle in 15. So like game week 15, for example, you can probably target all the promoted teams where Burnley play Newcastle, Leeds play Liverpool, Sunderland play Man City. Yeah, exactly. You could probably game week 15 free hit. Like if you didn't have Newcastle players, you can load up on them. City players, you can load up on them. Potentially Liverpool players, if you still haven't got any Liverpool players by that time, could potentially load up on them. Who else has like pretty decent fixtures? Arsenal have Aston Villa. I mean, you could probably, if you wanted to drop a few, if Aston Villa have picked up form, and this is Arsenal away as well, you could probably drop a few Arsenal players in that game if you wanted to. Palace have Fulham, which is a very hard to say because it's away from home as well, so it's a Craven Cottage. West Ham have Brighton. Bournemouth have Chelsea. So if all of us have triple Bournemouth as well, and we have like people who have triple Bournemouth, double Chelsea, and you go, ooh, too many clashing fixtures, that's another week where again the free hit kind of is tempting. So maybe game week 15 free hit might be a potential play. Depends on team structure. Do I pull the bench boost this week? If your bench looks good, then yeah, I think I would probably play it. But don't activate it just yet. Keep it till the last minute to activate it, or like on deadline to activate it, because just in case injuries happen to your team over the international break and then the bench boost doesn't become an option. This is the time there's one game injury pop up. It's cold. You get injured more when it's cold. Yeah. 2-1 to Carnes versus Villa. We will get one, says Andy. Fair enough. And we'll score from a corner. Ooh. So yeah, free hit is very team dependent. So yeah. Will, welcome. How are you doing? So those are the chip talks. Let's move into data. We'll start with team attack. So team attack over the last, basically so far for the season, City are on top for team attack, and I think so. They have 12.21 xG non-pen. Well, they basically have 12.21 xG in total. They haven't got a penalty so far, right? And out of that 12.21, if I was to look at forwards, Haaland has 7.71 of it. So Haaland has more than half of the City's XG. Haaland alone, which is basically buy Haaland, people. What are you doing? Is basically what I'm saying. Crystal Palace second in the attack. United, I've removed United's. This is actually non-pen, so this is not counting the penalties that Manchester United have got. They're 11.69, but Manchester United are significantly underperforming on their goals. They're minus 5.06 in terms of goals. Arsenal are 10. Arsenal 10.64. Chelsea just behind. So these are still pretty good attacks to kind of have and kind of buy. Liverpool are there. The only problem is figuring out which Liverpool player you want. Everton are also there. And I've got Iliman Ndiaye, and I don't know what to exactly do with Iliman Ndiaye at the moment. At the bottom, you've got the likes of Burnley, Sunderland, West Ham. Obviously, West Ham at the bottom, but maybe with a fixture turn. And Nuno at the helm, maybe Jared Bowen. I mean, people are buying Bowen, Paqueta, people are buying, so maybe you think they'll improve in that attacking numbers, but at the moment it's not looking that great. Aston Villa as well at the bottom, Forest at the bottom, Wolves at the bottom, Leeds, Brentford, Fulham. So these are Spurs also like bottom half of the table in terms of attack, and Spurs have talk about overperforming. Spurs have overperformed significantly. It's insane it's insane how much Spurs have overperformed their XG. 5.47. They're the highest overperformers, which I should say is not sustainable. So Spurs should revert back like a +2, max +3 is more likely the case. +5 is like quite high, to be honest. I'm more than happy holding Ndiaye for now, says Will. Fair enough. We are terrible in attack, says Sam. I mean, yeah, at the moment it seems like they're overperforming, so that should revert a bit more. Palace are all-rounders. Liverpool defender not a good pick, but Liverpool always get a goal in the game when it happens. Yeah. Spurs are overrated, says Andy. I don't know if they're overrated. I wouldn't say that. I just think they're coming into a tough round of fixtures. So it's a good time to sell if you wanted to. But Kudus, I still might hold though, Kudus, if you had Kudus. Defense, on the other hand, Arsenal solid in defense. Newcastle solid in defense. I kind of want to buy a Newcastle defender, and I wish I actually, stuck to my Nick Pope on my wildcard decision and didn't go Petrovic. But here it is. We ended up with Petrovic instead of Nick Pope, but it is what it is. Newcastle defense is still not too bad for people wanting to buy Newcastle defense. Wanikwan, good evening. I have Grealish, Paqueta, and Anthony in mid. Should I change any of them? Grealish is not going to be available for the upcoming game. Paqueta is good. Fixtures are turning, should be fine. Anthony, I'm assuming that is Jaden Anthony from Burnley, right? He can probably be benched. 4 free transfers. Other two are Enzo and Semenyo. Enzo and Semenyo you can keep. I have free transfers up till 5, right? Yes, you have up to 5 free transfers. Depends on your bench. Like, it depends on your starting 11, because Grealish is not going to be available. And if you're benching Jadon Anthony as well, you're probably playing a 3 midfield. You can probably improve that midfield to get like some Arsenal attack. Yes, so Tottenham fix their attack. Buy Harry Kane back. That's next season. I think it's next season when that option in his contract is available. Spurs team need to click the good team with no Floyd. What I know, I'm a Villa fan. Bournemouth. I wish they kept clean sheets instead of conceding, but here we are. City's defense is also up there. I still don't really trust City defense for some reason. Liverpool defense is supposedly good here in terms of the XG numbers, but if you sort them by big chances conceded, they conceded 16, which compared to the rest of the good defenses like Newcastle, look at that, 7 big chances. Arsenal, 5 big chances. Bournemouth, 9. Leeds have interestingly conceded only a few big chances. Very interesting. City, only 11. So you want, like, even though their defensive minutes per XG is still pretty good, the amount of big chances they've conceded are quite big. Palace, 17 big chances conceded. The only thing with Palace is they. One interesting thing with Palace is they should have conceded more than what they've conceded. They've only conceded. How many goals have Palace conceded? Goals conceded. Yeah, they've only considered 5 goals. They should have considered 3 more. Interestingly, so maybe again Palace is slightly overperforming there. But Palace, the central defenders get you DEFCON, which is nice. Hillbilly, welcome. Oh, not looking at. Oh well, since yours is a wildcard question, I'll probably have a look. But we're not really looking at teams today. But because yours is a, should I play a wildcard? I'll have a look. But teams will keep it for a team selection stream on Monday. We'll do a team selection stream on Monday. Wildcard. No, you don't need to pull a wildcard for this team. How many transfers do you have? 1 free transfer. I mean, you could pull a wildcard if you wanted to improve that bench. Like, you could fix the entire bench and probably some of the midfield options and defender. Yeah, you could pull a wildcard if you really wanted to. This is up to you, though, if you really wanted to. Would make 67 transfers, but would mostly be like you would move Pedro Porro out, you would move Sanchez out, you'd move Anderson out, you'd move Esteve out, you'd move Reinildo away. You probably might move Bruno Fernandes as well. You might make a decision on Joe Pedro. I guess 11 and you might not have as well on a wild card. You might make quite a few transfers if you did play it. You could play it if you wanted to. It's a call that you'll have to make. I can see a reason to play it. Muhin, welcome. Grealish only misses the Man City game if you want to keep him. Yes. Grealish will only miss the Man City game. So if you want to keep Grealish on the bench, it's fine because he'll be back after the Man City game. Richardson. Is the best pass defender going forward. Yes, to an extent because of the value. I also am not against Guehi even or Lacroix. So the thing with Richards is he tends to do the throw-ins for Crystal Palace, which means he potentially misses out on these long throwing goals because he's not going to get an assist, unlikely, right, from the throw-in. So if you wanted a defender who'd be involved in like getting some attacking returns as well, then you're probably looking at Guehi or Lacroix from attacking returns potential. I'm debating a bench boost, but all the strikers all look pretty rubbish, Haaland aside. Who is your other 2 strikers, Will? Do you have Gyökeres and Joe Pedro as well? I mean, if you had them, you probably start them this week, right? It's for Chelsea against Forest, end of the day. And this is still an Ange Forest team. So defense, if you're looking at defenders, buying defenders, I think Newcastle is the one team that I don't have defenders and I kind of want to get, but I don't know when to get. Look for Defcon, how he clears that easy every week. Who is this? Senesi? Yeah, most of the time he does, yes. Oh, you mean you mean the Crystal Palace defender. I still think Lacroix and Guehi are not too bad, but do they get Defcon every week? Ooh, Lacroix doesn't really. What about Guehi? I think Richards does get. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at CBI. Go back to Lacroix. Defcon 10, 13, 6, 6, 9, 12, 16. I mean, Lacroix, not too bad. It's like a 50-50. Guehi 10, 11, 10, 6, 9, 5, 6. Initial few, not really, but last few games he's been getting Defcon. So I guess it's also game states. Richards, I think, does get you quite a lot of Defcon. Let's have a look. 10, 13, 7, 4, 13, 8, 8. Also 50-50 almost, but more likely to potentially get you. They just hit 14. They just hit 10, not 14 and clear. Yeah, fine. 10 is close to 9. 9 is, yeah, that's fair point. So in that case, you probably go 10, 11, 10. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like if Richards gets it, he tends to clear it. Yes, I understand that point. All right. So talking about defenders with Defcon, thoughts on selling Bruno and Gyökeres for Bowen. Great fixtures and Saka for -4. Ooh, that is very tempting though. Not gonna lie. For a -4, I don't know about a -4 because Gyökeres could very well return as well, right? This week. Bruno probably might not return for you, but Saka could. That is a 50-50 decision. It might not necessarily work out per se because of the -4. So Saka has to, like, you have to get extra, like, because Bruno could very well get like 3-4 points maybe this week with Defcon. I think he'll hit Defcon this week against Liverpool. I'm holding Bruno till he misses another pen or someone else takes one for Man United. Fair enough. I think if someone else was to take it, it would be Mbuemo. Manikwan says, this is my team. Rufus, Donnarumma, Tarkowski, Burns, Senesi, Timbers, Chalaba, Grealish, Enzo, Anthony, Paqueta, Semenyo, Haaland, Waltemara, Gyökeres. Bench is Donnarumma, Tarkowski, Grealish, and Chalaba. Oh. Huh? Oh, you're benching Donnarumma. Okay. So you have Dan Burns, Senesi, and Timber starting this week alongside. Oh, you have Chalaba as well potentially. Is Chalaba fit? He's not fit, right? Chelsea. He might be fit. Yes, he is fit. Oh, is he fit? I don't know if Chalaba is fit. Was he missing for concussion reasons? Yes, right. So he should be back. So Chalaba should be back. So you can start those back four itself. Alongside, you can start Enzo, Paqueta, and Semenyo. So you can play a 4-3-3, 1-1. You don't necessarily unless you want to start Jadon Anthony over Chalaba, which is also possible. But you can play a 4-3-3 as well. So you don't necessarily have to make a transfer of removing Jack Grealish. Jadon Anthony, I mean, I don't mind if you wanted to remove Jadon Anthony because I don't expect too much from Burnley per se. But like, yeah, but I don't think the clean sheets for Newcastle will be great. I mean, defensively they've been pretty good so far. They missed the boat for now with Newcastle. In 2 weeks, Newcastle are buying defense. Brighton will score against Newcastle. Probably. So if you don't get Newcastle defense at the moment on a wild card, I think, yeah. So game week 10 they have West Ham and then they have 11 against Brentford, which is not a bad fixture to like buy Newcastle defense. I think even game week 9 against Fulham is not too bad because it's a home fixture. The other two are away fixtures. And if you don't get, then after that you're kind of uncertain on whether you want immediately. Like, yeah, I think game week 9 is not too bad against Fulham because it's a home. If it was away, I would have been slightly different, but at home it's not too bad. I mean, league, it means then I'll get a really solid bench as well for bench boost. Oh, okay, hold on, have a look. Get Saka in yet? I always go for him too early and still a march on the others, and he always gets injured on me, says Joseph. Yeah, that's the only thing. I want to see how the international break goes, and hopefully he doesn't get injured. But like, yeah, bench boost is when you don't know what keeper to play, and a half decent bench. The points are there mostly fair points. I don't think I'll ever get to that with Dubravka. Oh, against Leeds, I mean, could make a case. That's why I'm thinking of bench boosting this week. Tiger, welcome. Alright, so I ideally like to avoid teams, but if you're playing a chip specific, then might consider it. But we'll look at teams on Monday. So this was like Sam's team as well, where he was like bench boosting. I think this is a good bench boost team as well because like you could make a case that Kudus probably comes to the bench on this one. Does he come to the bench? Not necessarily. You could make a case that probably Bruno Fernandes is on the bench potentially. Yeah, this is also not too bad in terms of bench boost. Wait till after Brighton to buy Newcastle defense. Yeah, probably because the next game is away, right? Yeah, that's a sensible move as well, to be honest. So DEFCON defenders. Did I have a DEFCON table here? I think it was a public stat table more than. DEFCON defenders. Was it this one? Oh no, it was this one. Yep. Gabriel, Saka, Haaland are must have if fit. Yeah. Haaland, yes. Gabriel with the way he's playing right now, yeah. Here we go. These are the DEFCON players. So DEFCON points per start. So Senesi, Anderson. I don't know how Anderson keeps getting hitting DEFCON quite often. Tarkowski, Mukiele, Cullen, Lacroix. So if you want DEFCON players, these are your options. Caicedo. My plan right now, depending, is probably selling Bruno and Gyökeres, Saka and Bowen, and then bench boosting. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's not too bad. Now, in terms of forwards, Haaland, good. Mateta, I have no idea how this man has not scored yet. To be honest, the amount of chances he's had, I'm shocked he hasn't really managed to get a goal in yet. Gyökeres is there as well, which is why I'm happy to keep Gyökeres, but it's insane the gap. Like Haaland's on 7 xg and the rest are all like 4 and under. That's the insane how much Haaland is getting. Chris Wood is interestingly there. Alongside Thiago, Beto, Welbeck, and Walter Mada is there as well. No Joao Pedro, or Joao Pedro is way below. The only thing is Joao Pedro at the moment goal attempts in the box the same as Walter Mada, but then Walter Mada has played less, I think, in terms of fixtures. Sesko is in here as well. If obviously United had some decent fixtures, he could have been a bit more of a interesting option. And 5 chances created. Is that the most of? No. Evan Wilson has the most. Joao Pedro second most. Calvert-Lewin. I'm not suggesting Calvert-Lewin to anyone here. In terms of goal attempts in the box, Gyökeres, Chris Wood, Haaland, Richarlison. Evan Wilson is up there, but he hasn't really gotten much. Mateta, Isidore, Bowen. Big chances, Haaland, Mateta, Gyökeres. These are the players who had the most big chances, Haaland, Mateta and Gyökeres. Mateta is the one who could very well enter conversations in game week 10 because Crystal Palace's fixtures kind of should improve come game week 10. They're Brentford, Brighton, Wolves, Man United, Burnley, Fulham. So Bournemouth and Arsenal, and then game week 10 onwards, Mateta is definitely should be in the conversation, I think. I think if Saar plays, that's better for him. Yeah. Probably, yeah. Like, I still prefer Saar over Mateta. But yes. Gyökeres can't hit a barn door to save his life. Where is Bowen? Bowen, if I was to sort this by expected goals, Jared Bowen is here, 0.81. Not looking great for Jared Bowen in terms of XG. I think that's purely down to West Ham playing poorly as well. The only thing is with West Ham's fixtures improving and now with a better manager, you'd hope that his numbers will improve. But it's not looking great. So you're going and picking the likes of Bowen and West Ham attack on a hunch that they will be better. Touches in the penalty area though is pretty high for Jared Bowen. So that is good at least. Even though they were pretty bad, he's got a decent number of touches in the penalty area. It's just that he's not converting those touches into goal attempts enough. Where is Jarbo? 11.29. It's not too bad actually. 1 in every 3 is actually pretty decent, to be honest. Chances created. So, yeah, this is where we're looking at in terms of XG. Sesko is quite high up. Yes. 1.59 XG. Although, with this one, big chances total. It says 4 big chances total. I think you need to add in the fact that there was this one game. What was the game? The game that he scored his first goal. He had 3 shots at goal, which would have kind of increased the XG for each of those shots. So when it says 4 big chances, I think 3 of those would have been those shots at goal that he had, that 2 of them got blocked and 1 he scored. So that is maybe one thing to kind of keep an eye out for, which is why the numbers might be slightly high. His goal attempts in the box though, okay. Ideally, you would want him to have a bit more extra. But like his attempts in the box compared to his touches in the penalty area, they're not too bad. So it's like trying to take shots as often as possible because he doesn't get too many in the penalty area as well. Who is catching the eye on the pitch? Sometimes actually they don't pick up things up. Yeah, that fair point. I would say that so as well. Catching the eye. I mean, I think Mateta is the one that's actually like the amount of chances he's getting from eye test perspective and not scoring is definitely up there. Walter Made as well. I honestly think, even though the numbers are low, I think Newcastle are slowly improving and playing to his strengths, where I do think he will get some opportunities, Walter Made. So I think it will improve. So you'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Sesko does look like he's improved the attack. Yes, I would agree. The only thing is you're probably not going to buy Man United attack at the moment, right? Like, look at the fixtures. Liverpool, Brighton. The next 2 at least you probably... I don't know. I probably give Liverpool and Brighton... Just wait and see what happens to Ruben Amorim. Because we haven't won 2 games in a row at all under Ruben Amorim. Which means we're probably not going to win the Liverpool game. It's the Brighton game. If he wins the Brighton game, then he's still in a job. If he loses the Brighton game as well... then there is a bit of a problem. Because after that, you have Forest, Spurs, Everton, Crystal Palace, West Ham. I mean, these are not bad fixtures from an attacking point of view. Waldemar is amazing and on pens. I wouldn't say he's on pens. I think he scored that pen because Anthony Gordon was not on the pitch at that time during the penalty. So I wouldn't say he's on pens just yet. Fouls like confidence, but once they get 1 or 2, they go around. Yeah, but I would say he took a really good pen though, Walter Mare. That I would say. So that's forwards. So Haaland, Mateta, Gyökeres. I mean, Gyökeres and Joe Pedro are definitely kind of on borrowed time because they've got the good fixtures now. The question is, can they make the fixtures count? If they don't return in the next 2 weeks, anything, people will kind of get twitchy fingers in terms of wanting to make transfers from those 2 players. And we've already spoken about Walter Mada, Sesko and Mateta as options. They could very well end up becoming the replacements for those 2. So we will wait and see. Man United usually turn up against the top sides. Man City aside. Yeah. True. Buy Villa players instead. No, don't buy Villa players. Sell Villa players. If anything, you're selling Villa players before you sell Man United players. So that's forwards. Midfielders. Oh, Bruno Fernandes. How do I sort this by... So this is XGI. I should probably go XG non-penalty. So his XG non-penalty for Bruno Fernandes is 1.34. He's XA. I don't have XA here, no? Do I? He said 0 assists so far, Bruno, which is very odd for him. His XGI is high because of the 3 pens actually. Enzo is up here as well now on this one. I sent in my team, but just then. Okay, I'll bring it up, but we're looking on teams on Monday, Tiger. Teams Monday for teams. But I'll bring it up at the end of this. The stats mean next to nothing when it comes to Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, that's the thing. Bruno Fernandes is the type of player that on any given week could get you a 10 to 15 pointer. At the same time, he could get you 2 and 3 or 4 points. He has 0 assists because of holding midfielder. Yeah, at the moment, yes, sadly. Having said that, he's still the most highest chance creator. 19 chances created as a holding midfielder. Jack Grealish is there second. Gakpo 14, Stark 14, Embuemo 13. Embuemo is there really good as well. Kudus 13 as well. Shrewsbury Hall, who should be back now for Jack Grealish instead. Salah 12, Minter 12, Doku 12, Declan Rice 12. Goal attempts, look at that. Brian Embuemo 17 goal attempts. Semenyo as well. Eze 17 goal attempts. Bruno Fernandes 16. So like even goal attempts is like pretty high. I mean, still a good option to be honest. It's just that it's so frustrating because we could have been like 20 odd points higher than what we were. Goal attempts in the box, you got Semenyo high. Kind of proves why he's like everyone's kind of wanting to buy him. And Mbuemo is up there as well. I think Mbuemo is a really good differential option and will continue to tick over with points. Eze, Gakpo, Salah, Minte as the next couple options. No Enzo Fernandez here. And I'm looking to potentially even think of buying Enzo Fernandez. But not enough goal attempts in the box. 8 only. However, with the fixtures improving, I'm hoping this number will go up a bit more. The day the Europa League final happened, I celebrated so much when you lot started him at 8 instead of 10. And his biggest mistake of his career. One of many, yes. Gakpo will cover Salah. I don't know. Maybe if he gets minutes. Can you confirm? It's hard to say whether Gakpo will get assured set of minutes. That's the only problem. Big chances created. Adam Wharton. Salah. 4 big chances created. Brooks, Gakpo, Minte, Grealish. I guess this is where you don't see Bruno Fernandes. In terms of big chances created, I don't think Bruno has created any big. He's created 1, which is not great. You want Bruno creating more. But the problem is he's not creating that is because he's playing a holding midfielder and not a cam. There's another Andy who subscribed. Andy, is this you? Or is this a different Andy? If so, whoever it is, thank you very much. And welcome to the Football Chatbox. I'm looking at getting rid of Bruno Fernandes to Saka. I mean, I'm also potentially thinking that. Unless I can find another way to have Bruno and Saka. Which I don't think I can at the moment. But yeah, I'm probably thinking that as well at the moment. Just going to wait and see how the international break goes before making that decision. So yeah, XG non-pen, Enzo is up there. Ismail Sarr is up there as well. These are some of the midfielders I'm kind of looking at. Ismail Sarr and Enzo for this week. Estava would have been a very nice option if we knew Estava's minutes were nice. Unfortunately, Estava's minutes are not confirmed, so it's a bit of a shame. Enda is not too bad as well from the looks of it, but yeah. Now, here's a question to everyone. As you can see, there isn't really, like Reinders is here. He's not really, his XGI also is not too great. For those of you who have Reinders, and I know plenty of you do, what do you do with Reinders? Is the question. He's D. Hi, Andy. I'm Andy B. Yep, fair enough. Welcome to another Andy. How much is Semenyo outperforming? Semenyo is on 3.96 XGI or 2.8 XG. He has got 6 goals from 2.8 XG non-pen. Well, he's had 6 goals and 3 assists from just 3.96 XGI. So he's clearly overperforming by a significant margin. But this is the thing, right? We had to also think, is Semenyo this season's Brian Mbeumo? Because Brian Mbeumo also last season was outperforming by a lot, but he continued to do well. So that's the other thing we had to ask ourselves. Is like Semenyo, has he just become better this season where he's like more calmer in front of goal and all of that? Wildcard Game Week 8, both Salah and Haaland or only Haaland? I probably only go Haaland, Fazid. I'm probably only Haaland, I think. Seems a bit more reliable at the moment. Having said that, Salah against Manchester United, I don't know what, he just finds a way to do well against Man United. It's like we're basically his energy and like getting himself back into form is probably you play Manchester United. He just tends to do really well. So it always frightens me when like we play him because he just finds a way to do well. It's so annoying, but yes. And we don't have Wan-Bissaka anymore to kind of lock him as well. Previously we had like Wan-Bissaka who could lock Salah down, but now we don't have that as well. So that's a bit of a problem as well. Got Caicedo, better steady points. Fair enough. Caicedo, most likely I knew I should have got him weeks ago, but fixtures were so good on Reinders. The fixtures are still so good on Reinders. I don't know what to do with Reinders. This is kind of why I was like thinking of maybe even moving Endai away. Because Everton is still a good fixture for Reinders. And it's at home. So I have no idea what to do with Reinders at the moment. My initial thoughts, which I'll discuss later in the team selection, but was in the team selection stream on Monday, but it was more of like sell Bruno, sell was it sell Bruno? It was sell Endai as well potentially. Was it sell Bruno? Oh, it was sell Bruno, sell Javi Simmons, and then decide if I really want to sell Endai as well. But getting like an Enzo, a Saka, and then if I wanted Endai out, it would have been Ismail Sarr or even Reinders out to get Ismail Sarr. Hugo Ekitikes, welcome. Big chances created, and they're saying he's been shit. Who is this? Who are we talking about? They will smash Everton. They will walk goals in. Who will smash Everton? City? Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of keeping Reinders for that game. So if I wanted, I'd probably get rid of Endai instead. And then if Reinders still doesn't perform, then probably week after he can be the one to leave. Like Saka. So the top of my shopping list, Salah. No, I wouldn't say Salah. So my thing with Salah is I don't think he's been poor. He's kind of been a bit poor, but he's still created a ton of big shots. I think it's the team around him that has stopped giving him the ball and like stopped playing to his strengths. I think that's what's happened. Because last season you had like Luis Diaz, and as much as Darwin was pretty bad in front of goal, Darwin would still create space and everything for Salah. This season you have a lot of players who wouldn't do how do I put this? Who require Salah also to do a lot of off the ball work, and at the same time are also capable of like creating stuff themselves and also like finishing stuff, but because of that Salah doesn't get the ball enough as well. I think like I don't think Liverpool are playing to Salah's strengths at the moment, at least. That's the thing. Because he's still really good, right? He's gone through these patches of form where he hasn't done much, and then late, like after a little while, the guy just ends up on like really good form. You got Gyökeres monster. You got Gyökeres, Monster up front. I don't follow. As in my team? Or you mean just like Liverpool? Salah's been selfish as well. Too selfish as well. So in the last game, he tried to do a lot. Too much, I felt like. I just think this Liverpool attack needs a bit more time to click. It hasn't clicked at all yet so far. And I don't know if that's because they've switched formation as well. Like they were settled on a 4-3-3. Now they've switched to a 4-2-3-1, which is a more attacking option. The midfield hasn't really been too steady as well, because sometimes you have Gravenberg at right back, sometimes you have Szoboszlai at right back. There are like too many changes going on in Liverpool at the moment. The chances he could have passed to Isak, yeah, that's also there as well. But that's what happens, right? When he's not getting returns as well, he's also wanting to get points. Did you get to my team yet? Not yet, Tiger. Chelsea's share goals across the whole team. That's mainly down to too many substitutions as well. Like Chelsea's depth, which is probably a reason. Yeah, I mean, Joe Pedro is on borrowed time, but we'll see. Slots too busy experimenting. It's unsettling. Yeah, I think Liverpool need to get to a steady lineup first. Too many changes that are happening, and that is not helping at all. So we'll see how it goes. But usually playing Man United is a good chance for Liverpool to get back into form. Wildcard at Game Week 7 will bench boost Game Week 8 if players are fit, says Moving. Fair enough. Ekitike is better than Isak. Ooh, I mean, he started really well. I still think Isak is better. I wouldn't say Ekitike is better than Isak. I still think Isak is better. Just had to play to Isak's strengths. Alright, so that's kind of where we are at so far from the data. I think Ismail Sarr, Enzo Fernandez, who else did I mention? Honestly, even Mbeumo is not too bad, to be honest. So we had a few look at like some players to kind of keep an eye out for. Jack Grealish is pretty decent as well. It's just that he's not available. So Wanikwan, I think bench him for this week. Any other midfielders that I kind of wanted? No, probably not. For a team, I mean, at the moment, probably yeah. But like, I think eventually Isak has to be a first choice striker, right? You spend so much money on him. Have to get a way to like making it work. Basically, you can't really bench Isak, right? He has to be first choice striker eventually. Has not had preseasons. Once you get to his level, yeah, that's the thing. He hasn't had preseason yet, so give him a bit more time. Dopamine rush of the Estava winner still hasn't worn off. Best day since time with PSG. Fazit. Fair enough. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of where we are in terms of like all the data. Defenders, we kind of had a look at some of the DEFCON data here as well. And obviously we had a look at like the XG attack and defense as well. So that's the data. I don't want to bore you guys too much with data. We also had a discussion of chip talk on when to play certain chips. Game week 15 free hit looks very appealing as things stand. And game week 13 triple captaincy for Haaland looks very appealing. Anywhere else where we could potentially play a triple captaincy chip? Let me include game week 18 as well here. Any other week for triple captaincy? Sunderland play Arsenal in game week 11. I wouldn't really triple captain in an Arsenal player, probably not. Who do Burnley play? They're the team to target at the moment. They play Arsenal in game week 10. Chelsea in 12. Bournemouth in 17. Away from home as well. Anyone want a Semenyo triple captaincy in game week 17? That's a potential option. They play Newcastle in 15 away from home as well. Who else? Wolves play Liverpool in 18. Salah won't be there. I think he'll be at AFCON potentially. Wolves play Arsenal in 16. So there are a few other weeks if you guys wanted to triple captaincy. Just you'll have to get like a Semenyo or something like that. 2-3 week punts for a transition pick. How long are we talking about, Andy, in terms of punts? Like how many game weeks are we looking for? When Salah gone on his holiday back? Game week 16, I think he should be leaving for AFCON. Game week 16 is on the 14th. I think game week 16, he could be available when does AFCON start? Let's see. AFCON starts on the 21st. So he could potentially still be available for game week 16. And then after game week 16 is when Salah should be gone. So he might still be there for like, honestly, even though Salah is at the moment kind of this thing, Sunderland and Leeds in 14 and 15 is also not too bad. If Salah gets back into form, triple captaincy on Salah or even Isak potentially, game week 14, 15. 14 is a midweek fixture. So 14 maybe might be tricky. Might have rotation in 14. 15 against Leeds, not too bad. Could see some triple captaincy shots there as well. AFCON in January. AFCON is basically end of December to start of Jan this time. Don't worry about those of you who own Kudus and Semenyo. You don't have to worry. They won't be going for AFCON because Ghana didn't qualify for AFCON. So they should be fine. They won't be going for AFCON. It's more who to have for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Next 2 to 3 weeks. Arsenal. Maybe some Leeds potentially for bench boost or not. Newcastle still not too. Maybe Fulham and West Ham. These are some of the teams with the better fixtures for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Anthony is a good sort of pick and good bench player. The only thing is like, isn't he at the same price as like a Caicedo? You probably prefer Caicedo, right? Over Anthony, Jadon Anthony. 5.7. Yeah, you probably prefer Caicedo at the same price, potentially. Alright, so that's kind of it. Let me quickly look at Tiger's team and then we will do the next stream. Next stream will be on a Monday. We'll do team selection, looking at everyone's teams on Monday. I'll have a look at Tiger's one right now. But everyone's teams on Monday. I'll do a wildcard draft as well. Sunderland got a few AFCON players. I think so. Let me have a look. I think there was an article of... Here we go. This is the article I saw. So if you were to look at Sunderland, these are your Sunderland players that are potentially going for AFCON. Tiara, Abdullahi, Talbi, Adingra. Adingra could be a bit of a miss. Siddiqui and... Okay. So, like, Sunderland shouldn't miss too many. They should be fine. Adingra might be a slight miss. Tiger says, we've got a Sri Lankan festival this week. Oh. You should try out some of the food. If it's a food festival, you should go and try out some of the food. Might be a bit spicy, but it should be pretty good though. I would recommend the rolls. I know people who really love them. So rolls, really good. Would recommend that. Got 5 free transfers around then too. You could work it out like a week or two. Yep. Have a look. If it's a food festival, go check it out. Should be some pretty good food there. I might try. Nice. Send some photos if you want. but enjoy. All right, so that's basically it. Let me actually get Tiger's team up as well before I end up. This was Tiger's team. Dubravka, Senesi, Van de Ven, Richards, Eze, Reinders, Bruno, Semenyo, Joe Pedro, Haaland, Gyökeres. Ooh, Petrovic on the bench. Fair enough. Endai, Diouf, Estev. Would you bench boost this? How many free transfers, Tiger? I mean, you could potentially slightly bench boost this. It's not too bad for a bench boost. Music and instruments are cool too. Yes. But not too bad overall, I would say. Only one free. Okay, keep it for now. We'll see after the games, international games this week, how everything goes, and then can discuss on Monday again. I think we'll do it. So deadline is on deadline for this week. What is it? A Saturday deadline, right? Yeah. So we'll do a team selection on Monday, and then we'll do a team selection potentially on Thursday as well, I think. Let's do 2 team selection streams for the upcoming week. Just because we get more information. But that's not, I think he's a bad pick until Palmer's back and fit. Probably, but with the 2 good fixtures going on, kind of have to give him those 2 good fixtures and then decide what to do, I think. I mean, it's a game against Forest. It's a really good game for Chelsea at the moment, the way Forest are playing. But yeah. Alright, I think we'll end it there. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully I didn't put too much data into everyone's heads, but I thought it was kind of decent to have a look at some data because we don't really look at it too much on like the team selections and the podcast. So I thought it was a good week to have a look at some data in terms of what have we learned so far, and some chip talk as well that we had at the start. So thank you all for watching. Shout out to Tiger, Andy, Hugo Ekitikes, and Andy D as well, who subscribed. Thank you very much. Muhin, Sam, Combe, Joseph, Wanikwan, Hillbilly. Did I miss anyone else? Will. Who else? Did I miss anyone? John as well, and Tenda as well, and Tin, and anyone else who's been watching in the background. You absolute legends to you all. If you've reached up to this point, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're new, subscribe. Try and help us get to 2,500 subscribers. That's the goal. So let your friends know as well about the channel and get them to subscribe as well. Friends, family members, everyone. Get them to subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you all on Monday for a team selection stream. And I'll record a wildcard video and get it uploaded by the end of this week as well for anyone wildcarding. So yeah, have a good one, everyone.